Man. Man. Wow. Wow. I'm at a loss for words, folks. I'm honestly at a loss for words. This just. Woo. Like, yeah, I'm at a loss for words. I'm at a loss for words. I'm going to go ahead and do the intro. Welcome, folks. It's De La Spurs Live doing an instant match reaction edition for you guys. I hope you are feeling a lot better than I am after watching that game. Having to wake up early. I don't know where you are in the world, but where I'm at, I got to wake up at 6 o'clock, 7 o'clock to watch these games. So I wake up pretty early in the morning, on my weekend. When I have time off from work, family, other duties I may have, I take the time to watch Tottenham, and that's what I got. So hopefully you guys are doing a lot better this morning or whatever part of the day. Hope you're doing better today than I am. I got to go through the rest of my day with this. So hopefully for some, your day is just now getting right towards the middle or the end of the day, so you don't have to think about this a whole bunch. But yeah. Obviously, we're gonna take a moment. Go ahead, like this live stream, subscribe to the YouTube channel. Boy, are you gonna need it. Go ahead and subscribe right now, because I guarantee you there's going to be some frauds out there. There's going to be liars. There's going to be losers out there. They're going to be sitting here asking you to watch their content while they try to spin everything positively. Oh, well, we got this, and Deserby did this, and we have, the training videos. Look at the first 15 minutes versus Sunderland. All that stuff. You're gonna get the usual crap that's served right up on a hot plate for you. So subscribe to this channel if you want the truth. If you want the realness, subscribe to De La Spurs Live. Hit the notification bell when you do, so you can see my posts when I'm going live. You can see which days I'm going live. Again, this is an instant match reaction. I haven't done this a whole lot, so go ahead, follow me on follow me on X as well. You'll see me ranting and raving, scathing post about today's results. All right. I don't really think there's any reason to just to try to preface this. We lost today. Tottenham lost to Sunderland 1-0 away from home. Terrible game, terrible result. First of all, I just want to say that this team is the biggest group of pussies I've ever seen. Biggest group of pussies I've ever seen. I've never seen a sports team softer than this, right? There's cricket teams. There's polo teams. There's swimming teams. There's cheerleading teams that have more balls than this team, right? This Tottenham team is the softest, weakest group of players mentally I've ever seen. I mean, to have a new manager, to be in the situation that you're in, you're in the relegation zone. There is no, we can try to save ourselves this week. We can try to do this. We can try to do that. We're in the relegation zone. You started this game in 18th place, and that's the result you put out. You know why you put that result out? It's because they're pussies. That's why. They're scared. They're afraid to face whatever adversity, reality, whatever word you want to put, or whatever the situation is. They're afraid. They're not up for the fight. And we literally went out there and got bullied. We got bullied by Sunderland. The striker, whatever his name was, Broberry. bullied us. Bullied us. Literally, physically shoving our players around. Yelling at the ref whenever he's not getting a foul. Getting into our heads mentally. Literally almost injured two of our players. Injured two of our players doing that shit. And what do you see the Spurs players do? They do nothing. They're all standing around, hands on their hips, waiting for Kinski to get up, looking at Romero cry, putting the arm around his shoulder like a bunch of pussies. That's what they did. They reacted like a bunch of pussies. They saw Sunderland wasn't going to roll over in the first 15 minutes, right? We had that little spell, that little jump. Ooh, look at this. Look at, oh, we're passing the ball around. We're creating a chance or two. What happened after that? After 20 minutes, nothing. Nothing. And that's because this team has no spine. They have no backbone. They have no intensity. They have no grit. They don't. I'm surprised. I am so surprised they're not out there running around in skirts. Honestly. They should be running out there in skirts with knee-high socks on. That's what they're playing like. They're playing like a bunch of pussies. Look at this. Look at this. Hold on. Let me get this up. Look at this. Players literally crying out on the field. Crying like a little girl. You pussy. That's pussy shit. That's what pussies do. When they can't get their way. When the game's not going their way. When life is just so hard. They sit there and fucking cry. And look at the other Spurs players. Arms around the shoulders. Oh, it's going to be okay, lad. It's going to be okay. I get it. He's hurt. If he was in that much pain to where he cries, suck it up. Suck it up. Your knee could be hanging off the bone right now. You don't fucking cry. You don't cry in this situation. You don't let tears run down your eyes. In front of the team that's bullying you, pushing you around, what do you think is going to happen? You're just going to do it more. And what did they do? They did it more. Continued to push us around. Continued to kick us. Laugh, shout at us. And what did our players do? Our players didn't do anything. They had no words for Broberry. They had no words for the referee. They're sitting around there, hands on their hips, emotionless, just waiting for something to happen. Oh, well, the referee's not doing anything about it. I guess there's nothing we can do. No, here's something you can do, pussy. Grow a pair of nuts. Grow a pair of nuts like you told Tottenham to even try to get into this team because you're not playing for the women's team. You're playing for the men's team. So in the medical, right, when they saw the pair of nuts, the dick and balls hanging in between your legs, how about you remember you have that and go up there and do something about it? Kick a player. Lash out at a player. Put an elbow in the back of somebody's head. Yell at the referee. Put your finger in his chest. Do something. You're sitting here walking around, falling on the floor, complaining to the referee, complaining to the other players like they're going to do anything. Just pussy shit. That's what pussies do. And you know what? You got bullied today. Sunderland wasn't that great. We're gonna get into the stats and everything. Sunderland wasn't that great. Sunderland wasn't they weren't peppering our goal. They weren't outplaying us. They weren't passing through our defense. They barely created as many chances as we did. But you know what happens when you're playing against a bunch of pussies? You know what happens? You can dictate the game like they did. You can have an off game. You can not be good, and you can still get away with it. You can foul players all you want. You can talk to the referee any way you want to. You can jeer up the crowd, jeer up our player, whatever it is. They bullied us, and we had no reaction. We had no fight. There was no mentality. There was no sense of pride that there's other grown men across from you taking you for a ride. Treating you like you're girls, like they're playing against a girls team out there, pushing you and shoving you around, letting tackles stick on the back of our ankles. And what do? We do nothing. We do nothing. We're sitting there, palms to the sky, crying and complaining. Why hasn't somebody stopped this? Why hasn't somebody saved Tottenham? Why hasn't somebody saved us from this? Save yourselves. Fight, right? Grab the dick and balls between your legs and remember you're a man and fight. Remember, at the end of the day, if this is football, fuck that. If the dude's cursing you out, shoving your players around, getting your head. You know what's funny, right? You know what's funny is that here in America, right, we have the National Hockey League, okay? Different sport, it's hockey, okay? So different sport than football, different sport than soccer. Rules aren't the same. Different style of play, different arena, different tools to use in the sport. It's a completely different sport. So I'm not saying we got to draw a whole bunch of parallels. But you know what I love about the National Hockey League is the culture of the sport. Now, I get you can't fight in football. Hell, now you can't even talk to the referee without getting a yellow card. But you know, in hockey, you know what you can do? And that the culture that surrounds the league and every team in that league, you don't fuck with us. You don't fuck with us unless you want to get punched in the mouth. You know what else they have in that league that goes across every team? That's just the culture of it. You can even go down to the youth leagues and they're doing this. You know what that is? You don't fuck with the goalkeeper. You don't fuck with the goaltender. You don't fuck with the man who's protecting the goals. Because you know why? He's one of your most important players that you have. He's the one player that throughout the season is more than likely going to start every single game. Unless they're absolutely just having a shit time or they're injured. If they're not playing like shit and they're not injured, they're starting. So you know what hockey teams say? You know what they do? If the opposing team gets close to our goalkeeper, shove them away. The opposing team, they're getting in our goalkeeper, trying to get the puck out to try to score. You shove them away. Players messing with the goalkeeper, you shove them away. Punch them in the face. Cross-check them in the back. Slap them. Fight them. You don't let them get away with that. You can go down from the NHL to the amateur league to youth leagues. That's the culture across the board with the sport. You don't fuck with the goalkeeper. But then when I turn on the Tottenham game, and again, like I said, different sports, different rules, right? No player can punch another player in the face in the Premier League unless they're going to get suspended for a while. They'll get suspended for multiple games for doing that. But what we saw today is that a player can shove another player into your goalkeeper, shove his knee straight into his temple, cut his head wide open, and nothing happens. Both players walking off for the worst, and nothing happens. You think NHL players would take that shit? Whether it's from the referee or the other team, no. They would have the whole bench clear out. They would get every player on that active roster to come out there and fight that guy for doing that to their goaltender. And what do? Right? The second that Broberry guy pushed Romero into our goalkeeper, what do? Palms to the sky. Ref, help, ref, please, ref. Did you not see? He shot the play. Ref, please. Referee, I need your help. We need your help. Look what they're doing to us, ref. You got to do something. You got to say something. No. How about you grow a pair, you pull that Broberry guy by the shoulder, and you shove him? How about the next time you're on a corner kick, right? You put your elbow right against the back of his neck, right? Next time he wants to hold on to the ball a little bit longer than you should, you stamp on his goddamn foot. Make sure that dude can't even walk. Have some fight. Have some mentality. Be a man. Get even. Do something instead of crying. Literally crying like a bunch of pussies out there. You know what? Let's just get into it, man. We're going to get into it. All right, let me get this pulled up. I'm so, my head is gone. I can't believe what I just watched. I can't believe that the team I follow has just turned into a bunch of soft as baby shit team. The mentality is completely gone from this team. Completely gone. Just, I honestly, I don't know how you let somebody get away with that. If I was out there, and I get we're in a desperate situation, we need all the players we can get. But you're telling me that you're gonna let that go? I think it would serve more to the players if you went out there and fought and got a red card and sent off for the game versus everybody just sitting around watching Romero cry with Kinski with the bloody head lying down on the ground, motionless. Because we sat there, we sat on our hands, and we said, all right, let's try to outplay them, which we haven't been doing all game. We don't outplay any team. We don't outpass any team. We don't outscore them. So this whole let's just leave it to the field of play. Let's leave it to the game and the tactics. You don't even do that. So why don't you do something? Why don't you fight? Why don't you do it's just let's go over the starting lineups, right? So at the back we have Kinski, right? Different to Vicario. I think with I can't remember if Vicario is hurt or not. I don't think he is hurt. Let's see, actually. Do they show who's available? Yeah, they should show who's available. I think Vicario was available, right? Is he available? No. Okay, he was doubtful for the game, right? So he was doubtful for the game, but even still with that, right? I think a lot of fans were tired of seeing Kinski as well. So we got Kinski, okay? In goal. At the back four, we have Udogie, Vanavan, Romero, Pedro Porro. Pretty standard. People would argue probably our best back four. When we play the back four in the midfield, we have Archie Gray and Conor Gallagher, right? I believe Conor Gallagher was the 8 in the game, and Archie Gray was posing as the 6, protecting that back line. We have Richarlison, Bergvall, and Kolomouani in the attacking midfield. Bergvall, as you can see, had a horrible game today. Horrible game. Gave the ball up. Just running around like a headless chicken. He really doesn't. I really don't understand what fans see in this guy. I don't get why they hype him up. I guess just because Barcelona wanted him at one point, we convinced ourselves that he was some baller. Instead of Barcelona maybe taking a gamble, maybe taking a risk, or maybe because of their crazy financial situation, they can't buy all the players they want. So they got to get players that like Lucas Bergvall. They got to get the young players and try to develop them a little bit because they don't have enough money. But whatever reason, right? The fact that he was with Barcelona, or there was rumors with Barcelona, and that he wanted to come to Tottenham, that just made him number one in Spurs fans' minds. That just made him the number one guy. We have Richarlison, Kolomouani out wide. We have 3 strikers in this strike force, and we pulled 0 threat on goal. 0. None. Richarlison, I think, had a couple of chances today. Shots that had poof. Just poof. They were puff shots. Marshmallow shots. Pillow shots at the goal. Goalkeeper was not stressed. He wasn't worried about anything. It is what it is. I think Solanke had a headed opportunity as well. Couldn't do anything with it. So a strike force of 3 strikers, right? Yeah, 3 strikers. The king or whoever, the future of Tottenham and Lucas Bergvall up in that attacking four, and we posed 0 threat. 0 threat. You want to look at the first half versus the second half? Let's go ahead and take a look. Right? First half, like I said, we had that flurry. Maybe in the first 10 to 15 minutes, it looks like we were passing the ball around. We were moving it with pace. We were going to dictate the tempo of the game. We were going to put some pressure on their goal. But once we saw that Sunderland wasn't falling for that shit, as a matter of fact, not only did Sunderland didn't fall for it, you know what they said? They stuck their foot and they sucker punched us and say, you're not going to sit here and punk us in front of our home crowd like this. You're not going to sit here and come in and play like your Man City or prime Barcelona. You're fucking Tottenham Hotspur. We're Sunderland. We're playing at home. This is how it's going to go. And from there, they dictated the whole game. So maybe the first 15 minutes, you can say Tottenham had some momentum. We created some opportunities. But Sunderland, right? The team that looks like obviously, according to the league table, they are the better team. But they came in, they said, we're the better team here. We're the more physical team. We're playing at home. We're going to impose ourselves, right? And even though they weren't necessarily playing the best football on the eye, you know what they did? They said, we're not going to let Tottenham do this to us. We may not score, but we're not going to let Tottenham pass the ball around like this. We're not going to let Tottenham pass it out the back like they're comfortable. We're not going to let Tottenham be comfortable in their game plan and on the day. We're going to make it hard for them. We're going to make it physical. And even if that is dirty play, late tackles, sticking it on, grabbing and holding on to players, shoving them. I can't count how many times after a Sunderland player fouled, here they are pulling our players back, shoving them out the way so they can get back into position. Like they took no nonsense from Spurs. None. They didn't want any of that. They didn't care about De Zerbi. They didn't care about us fighting for rally. They didn't take any of our shit today. And even though they didn't have the best game, they weren't taking that shit from us. Because you know why? They have a bunch of men playing on their game. They have a bunch of men out there. Yeah. When they woke up in the morning, they put on a pair of shorts and a pair of pants. They didn't put on panties and a skirt, right? When it was 0-0 and the game was being dictated by Tottenham, you know what they said? Fuck that. We're going to dictate the game. They didn't sit there and complain to the referee. They didn't turn their palms to the sky. And they for sure didn't sit there and wait for something to happen. They took it upon themselves to do something. Let's take a look at these stats. They had more expected goals, right? They had more big chances, had an even amount of shots. Their goalkeeper had to make more saves than us, but pretty easy saves, right? More passes, more tackles, more free kicks. They had less yellow cards, which, by the way, I'm not going to lie, right? I think the referee did have, let me say this. The referee wasn't the reason we lost this game, but I think you can tell the referee didn't want to really call any yellow cards until a certain point of the match. So after that 20, 25 minute, it's just when he was letting them go. But in those first 10 to 15 minutes, when it was just as physical and just as contentious, he was just calling fouls. He was just letting play go. But after the 20, 30 minutes, he figured, okay, yeah, I can call a yellow card now. We're into the game now. I let the game flow a little bit. He didn't keep it consistent, right? He was calling fouls inconsistently. Yellow cards were inconsistent. You can tell that he wanted to avoid putting a red card in this game. So referee kind of had a bit of a nightmare to me, but not the reason why we lost. As you can see here, look at the chances. Look at the chances they had versus Tottenham. Versus Tottenham. Look at that. Look at that. Is there a table for missed shots or whatever? No? Okay. But as you can see, the first half, total shots, 7. 3 on target to their 1. Block shots, shots in the box. We had more shots in the box. But no opportunities we were able to generate from that. Hold-up play. As you can see, look at their hold-up pattern compared to ours, right? In that midfield, they were getting the ball to the midfield, holding it up, and creating chances from there. Look at us. What are we doing? We're passing it out the back. We're trying to get it to the wingers, trying to create the wing play, but we couldn't get anything to go. You can see that center is dead. It's dark because Solanke is... We had 3 strikers. Again, 3 strikers. No goal-scoring threat whatsoever. See the passes, accurate passes, long balls, crosses. Again, Sunderland didn't play that well of a game. They didn't. They didn't play that good of a game. But you know what they said? We're not going to take that from Tottenham. We're not going to allow them to dictate the game. We get into the second half. As you can see at the top of the screen here, that's when we got the goal. If you look at the defending on that goal, it's absolutely shambolic. You have a Richarlison who just absolutely mistimed, mispositioned himself, whatever you want to say. Dude just blows right past him. He doesn't run back. We have Conor Gallagher and Archie Gray just kind of jogging alongside of the guy because I guess they didn't want to tackle him and concede a foul, but they also didn't want to, I guess, get done up. I guess they figured that dude was going to put a move on them, so they didn't want to go in. They didn't want to foul him. They're just running right next to him. He gets a deflected shot. Kinski goes the other way, and he watches the ball go over his shoulder into the opposite corner into the goal. So they got the goal, and you can still see here in the second half, 0.14 expected goals in the second half. We were worse in the second half than we were in the first. And we put more attacking players on in the second half. They got the big chances. They had the more shots. Their goalkeeper had to make more saves, yes, but they had more passes, more tackles. They had more yellow cards. They got the goal. More shots. Look at this. And again, I don't think Sunderland had that good of a game. They didn't have that good of a game. But it's about the mentality you go in with. It's about the mentality of fighting and saying, we're not going to allow this. We're not going to let this Tottenham team push us around. And we had no reaction. Non-reaction. None. Let's go over the subs quickly because they didn't really make any sort of impact whatsoever. You can see here from the subs, right? We had João Palhinha come on, which, by the way, I don't know why he wasn't starting. As you can clearly see, the Sunderland team was as physical and as dominant as they tried to be. Why are we not putting our physically dominant players in there, right? You had Conor Gallagher and Archie Gray. Bergvall. You had two kids out in that midfield that were just running around like headless chickens. Weren't physical enough to implement themselves in the game. You can say the same thing about Pape Sarr. Once he came on, what does he do? What is he good at? He's not an 8. He's not a 6. He's clearly not a 10. He doesn't have the skills on the ball to do anything. I guess you could say off the ball is where he makes his impact. But he's not even that good to make an impact off the ball. Matisse Tell, again, comes in. I mean, try something. Right? At least I saw him when he was frustrated trying to get back. But what good does that do? If you're losing the ball and you're frustrated, what good does that do, right? Kevin Danzo comes in for Romero due to the injury, right? Kevin Danzo, which I have to say, is starting to become kind of like the most improved player or the most essential player this squad has, because he's the only one that comes out here. It looks like he can stand on his own 2 feet and that he gives a shit. And then last but not least, we see Xavi Simons coming on. We had 11 minutes in extra time, but if you're actually looking at just the 90 minutes, him coming out only at the 85th minute when we're down a goal is shambolic. Shambolic on De Zerbi's part. Palhinha and Xavi Simons should have been starting this game. Let Matisse Tell start a game, right? When we actually have a winger, a set of 3 strikers who none of them appeared to be good at holding up the ball. None of them look like they appear to have any sort of goal threat. They're just out there running around. I can't tell you how many times I saw Colomwani like this. Useless player he is. Charleston, pillow shots. Solanke. I forgot Solanke was out there. Honestly, forgot Solanke was out there on the field. Looked like we were playing with 10 men. And Solanke got sent off or that he was injured. Because he didn't do shit. I think he had a headed chance. Other than that, he didn't do shit. So subs made no impact, right? Honestly, we should have made the subs right at halftime. Once we saw that the game was still 0-0, it's still up for the taking, even though the players looked like they had no fight. Bring on the players who looked like they were up for the fight. Or bring up the players who didn't start and let them get a 45 minutes. It just, I mean, Man, it is what it is. Did De Zerbi get it right? Hell no. No. And I don't care that it's his first game here at Tottenham. I don't care he's only gotten a week and a half with these players. He didn't get it right. Didn't get it right. Sorry, De Zerbi. You failed your first test as Tottenham manager, right? And you can make the same criticisms that we were making for Frank. What are you telling these players in the training grounds? What are you telling these players in the pregame to where they come out as flat as they do? What are you telling these players at halftime to where there's no improvement, there's no change in how we're playing? Why are we subbing on players? What are the decisions behind these subs, and why are we doing it at these times of the games? And obviously, what do you have to say for yourself at the end of it? Now, I don't have any De Zerbi post-match interviews. We'll probably cover that tomorrow on De La Spurs, so tune in for that. And we'll probably go over this game again once I've calmed down a little bit. But I can't be calm. Fuck that. I can't. I watch my team get pushed around like a bunch of little girls. We're in a relegation fight, and my team has no fight. What do I say to that? What do I do with that? It's just pathetic to me. It's sad and it's pathetic to me. I'm pissed because I'm literally watching players walk off the field in fucking tears. Look at this. I'm watching players walk off the field fucking crying. He's walking off. He's not getting stretchered off. He's not being have to put on a cart. They didn't bring a helicopter into the stadium to airlift him out. He's walking off and he's crying like a little pussy. Man up. Man the fuck up. If you're able to walk, right? If you're able to walk off the field, then you walk off with your head held high and you don't cry. Even if it does hurt. Even if the pain is so bad that there's tears in your eyes, you don't let the other team see that. You don't let your teammates see that. You don't let yourself be broadcasted on television like that. You know what this looks like? It looks like you're a pussy. It makes you look like you're a pussy. And we'll figure out the Romero injury report again. We'll cover this tomorrow. We'll see what happens, what they say. People are already speculating the reason why he's crying is because he feels like he won't be able to either play for Tottenham for the rest of the season or that this will affect the likelihood or the chances of him playing in the World Cup. Either way, you look like a pussy when you're crying. You don't cry. I remember Sir Alex Ferguson talking about how one of the players for Manchester United got hurt on the field, playing in an intense game against Liverpool. You know what he said? Alex Ferguson was yelling at him because he was crying. He was yelling at him because he was complaining about the injury and the pain that he was in. He said, get the fuck up and don't you cry. I don't care if your leg is falling off the bone. You don't sit here and cry on the field because that's not what this team's about. That's not what the mentality's about. And then you have this guy who's sitting here crying like a pussy because he can't play with his friends in a couple of months. It's sad and it's pathetic. It's an indictment on the mentality of this team. Don't try to tell me Romero doesn't care. He cares about playing with his friends and getting paid. That's what he cares about. And since he can't do either, now he's crying like a bitch, like a pussy. Man up. Man the fuck up. Everybody else on that field, man up. And if you felt bad for Romero, if you felt guilty that he got hurt, why don't you show Sunderland some of that emotion, right? Put a tackle on a player, right? Go after some ankles and some kneecaps, right? Start swinging on some players. Start pushing players around. But they didn't even do that. They just crowded around Romero, hands on their hips. Once he started crying, oh, Romero, oh, don't cry. Don't cry. No, don't cry, Romero. You don't need to cry. It's going to be okay. You're going to be okay. Pussies. That's what pussies do. That's what women do. You know what? When one of your girlfriends breaks up breaks up with their boyfriend, you know what they do? They do that. They crowd around them. They put their arms around their, oh, don't cry, girl. He doesn't deserve you. You deserve the best. You're a good girl. You deserve a good man to take care. That's what women do. That's women shit. That's girl shit. Crying and fucking. Pape Sarr should have smacked him on the back of the head and said, tighten up, dude. Tighten up. You're a grown man. One of the captains of this team. Man the fuck up and walk off the field with your head held high. Yes, you're injured. Yes, you're hurt. But you're a symbol of this team. And the fact that you're sitting here crying, tears in your face, just set the precedent for what this is going to be. An absolute shit show. Absolute shit show. I'm so, and my head's gone. My head, oh my goodness, my head's gone from this performance, this match, this is, I don't know where we go from here. I don't know. I mean, I didn't predict us to win this game at the beginning. I knew we weren't going to win this game. I already said this on Friday. Don't expect anything from this. But is this the reaction I was expecting? I was not expecting this. I was not expecting this team to be this soft. I was not expecting this team to have given up already. For real. Like, it's... Oh, my God. Like, I don't know where we go from here. I don't know where we go from here. Let's pull up. Who do we have left? Let's pull up the ye old schedule. Let's pull it up. Who do we have left? Well, Sunderland, obviously a loss. We lost that game. So that's going to be a no-go on that. We have Brighton next. The De Zerbi Derby. We got the De Zerbi Derby next. Are the players going to get up for that? I don't think so. If I'm seeing pussies crying on the field, I can only imagine what we're going to do in a De Zerbi Derby. Only imagine what the game is going to be like. And we're going to have no Christian Romero now. No Christian Romero in that game. I'm not sure if anybody else was hurt. Vicario is doubtful in this game. I'm sure he's probably going to be back. Even though Kinski, I don't think necessarily had that bad of a game. He actually saved a goal, right? He saved a goal by going out there, stretching himself. But I'm sure he's not going to be he may not be considered for the next game. We got Wolves next. Again, one of two games I said we can get points from. I'm going to keep saying this. Keep saying this. And I will repeat myself. Wolves and Leeds. Only two games we're getting points from. And I don't think those are necessarily 3 points. Just a point. Just a game that it's feasible to add something onto the table. But does this help us in our relegation fight? Will this save Tottenham? No. But Wolves, if there's any game that we can try to win, it's that one. You're talking about a team in 20th place, playing them away from home. You got to get something from this. Aston Villa, nada. Nope. I know they smell blood in the water. They're going for top 4. I don't think they're going to take our shit that day, especially at home. Suspect a similar performance to what Sunderland did to us, where their players are just pushing us, shoving us around, kicking out at us, leaving late tackles. They're not going to take that shit from us. Leeds at home, again, second game of 2 we can try to get points from. But if you're telling me Leeds is not going to make that a nasty-ass game, you're telling me they're not going to know how to make this one of the worst games to see on television. They're going to make that game nasty and gross and make sure our players don't want to be involved. We have Chelsea away from home. We don't get anything from that game. So might as well forget about that. And last but not least, Everton. Everton, again, last manager I want to see in the last game of the season where you need points is David Moyes. It could be a toss-up, right? It could be a toss-up. Depending on where they are in the table, they may not be fighting for anything. But right now, I think they're only, maybe a couple of points outside of getting a European spot. So you're telling me this team doesn't have any inspiration, nothing to fight for. That's your something right there. That's the muse. Coming into this Tottenham game where they smell water, last game of the season, you're going to be able to feel the pressure inside that stadium. You can feel the pressure inside that stadium. You're going to see our players walk 2 inches lower to the ground because that's how much pressure is going to be on their shoulders. You telling me David Moyes is not going to smell that out? With a manager that has been with West Ham, probably been in I don't know how many relegation fights with West Ham, if not other teams. I'm pretty sure when he came in, Everton was not too far away from a relegation spot at one point in their season. I think it was last season. I'm pretty sure they were not too far away from a relegation spot or from the bottom 4 or 5 spots. So he's been in this position. He knows what's being said in that locker room. He's seeing how the players can capitulate in this situation. So he's the last manager I want to see. He's the last manager I want to see on the last game because he's going to know exactly what it feels like to be in this. And he's going to tell those Everton players, ratchet up. They're already under pressure, folks. Ratchet it up. Be physical. Get these players, get them crying and moaning and complaining again, right? Get these players to react like this on the last game of the season. Have them walking away like this in the middle of the game. I'm telling you. It just so we can all see, again, this is our reality. This is the reality of what we're looking at. This is the reality. There is no saving. There is no, let's hope this team can give up some points so that way they can be the cushion for us. We are in the relegation zone. It is all on Tottenham to get something. It's not up to the PGMOL. It's not up to the referees. It's not up to West Ham. It's not up to Burnley. It's not up to Nottingham Forest and Leeds United. It's not up to these teams. It's up to us to do something about this. And from what I've seen, this is the mentality of the players. I'm going to keep showing this picture. I'm probably going to show this picture the rest of the fucking season. Because we got pussies on this team. Got players crying. We're in a relegation fight, man. Man the fuck up. Man up. I'm not going to be able to play with my friends. I'm not going to be able to play in the World Cup. Oh, I'm so hot. Guys, you don't understand how much this hurts me. You don't understand how much I care about the team so much. Guys, look. Guys, it's my knee. I'm not going to be able to play with my friends. What am I going to tell Messi? He said I was such a good defender. I'm not going to be able to play with him in the World Cup. I'm so bad. I'm so sorry, you guys. I'm so sorry, my Argentinian friends. Pussy of a player. Ridiculous, man. It's ridiculous. I mean, I really don't know where we go from here, so I'm just gonna go ahead and end the live stream here, end the instant match reaction here, folks. Listen, what did Thanos say? What did Thanos say about inevitability? Like it, hate it, hide from it, try to run from it. Nothing you can do. Relegation is the inevitable. Hey, go ahead and like this live stream, man. Go ahead, throw some in the live chat, throw some on the playback chat if you want. Subscribe to the YouTube channel, hit the notification bell when you do so you can see when I'm going live, so you can see when I'm going to be losing my mind. I'm going to be doing this tomorrow, so don't worry. You're probably going to be Probably going to be reanalyzing this game a little bit, going deeper, maybe go a little bit more in depth. Maybe once I calm down a little bit or rewatch the game, I'll come away with some different opinions. But all I have right now, instant match reaction, is first of all, we're getting relegated. Like, that's just, it is what it is. Like, we're getting relegated. And then the second thing is that we have a bunch of pussies on this team. We have a bunch of pussies that are not up for the fight. They don't want to fight. They're not. They're just waiting for the 90 minutes to end so they can call their agent and say, where the fuck can I go? Get me out of Tottenham as soon as possible. Get me out of Tottenham. Get me out of here, man. I don't want to be here. I'm not up for the fight. I'm not down with whatever this team is going for. I'm not down for whatever the fans are telling me. I'm not down with whatever this ownership sold me. Fuck this contract. Fuck the team. Fuck the training grounds. Fuck the new stadium. Fuck the badge. Get me out of Tottenham. And I see that with a whole, but I mean, maybe it's not all of the 11. Maybe it's not every single player on the roster, but there's a bunch. There's a bunch. And as much as they're coming out in these post-match interviews, it just sucks. We're going through a rough patch. We're going to get better. We're going to get through it. It's tough for us. It's getting harder and harder to see. It's getting harder and harder to see. It's getting harder and harder to lie to us. Really, it is. When the reality is this, it's hard to lie. You can't sit here and lie to me and tell me my eyes don't see what I'm seeing. So it is what it is. Hey, folks, I appreciate you guys joining in for the live stream. I appreciate you guys joining in. If you're watching this later on in the playback, watching this throughout the week, I'm sure you're going to want to get your daily dose of De La Spurs content. I'm sure there's going to be rival fans or people who aren't fans of Tottenham that are going to be loving me, losing my mind. Good. I don't care. I don't care. I'd rather see Tottenham fans have this reaction. I'd rather see a Tottenham fan piss right now instead of taking another hit of MDMA, talking about, oh, everything's going to be fine. We're going to vibe our way through this, folks. I just don't see us getting relegated, so just be positive. I'd rather see a fan like me getting pissed. I'd rather see fans start calling these players pussies, right? I really would. I really would. But regardless, I appreciate you guys for staying for the live stream. Yeah, man, it is what it is. We'll be back live Monday, 6 p.m. Central Standard Time. De La Spurs Live. You know what it is. Same place, same time, every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. Get in here while you can. But until then, I will see y'all later. Enjoy your Sundays. I'm out.